Hello, hello. We are live. Welcome, everyone. Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn Live. I'm here with Harleny Vasquez, and we are kicking off our first episode of the New Year, New You series. So very excited to be coming at you guys. One of my New Year's resolutions was I promised myself that I would be doing weekly LinkedIn Lives for you all. So we are starting that off this week, and I promise to you there will be at least one a week. Hoping for more than that, maybe 2 or 3, but at least one. And I apologize for my background today. I'm coming to you guys from my backyard. My plumber was having to work on my guest bathroom, which leads to my office and my studio where I usually shoot all my live sessions and take my meetings and whatnot. So welcome to the beautiful nature. I hope you enjoy it. And welcome, Harleny. Tell us about what you've been up to this new year so far.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Happy New Year. I'm so excited to be here. For those who don't know who I am, obviously, my name is Harleny. I am a licensed social worker as a recent, so yay. And also career coach, helping social workers land jobs using the LinkedIn platform. I mean, I feel like this new year have started with so much positivity and so much energy. My LinkedIn Live Get Hired series actually started today. I was live right before this. So basically that series, I started it back in October. I know you were one of the guests. And I had decided to do that series to help job seekers and, really come and utilize the LinkedIn platform as best as possible and just share tips and insights for fellow job seekers. So I'm excited to kick off this series this month, and I'm going to be continuing it every other month. So I'm so excited.
Very exciting. Congratulations. And speaking on our New Year, New You theme, before we sort of dig into our job seeker insights on a more personal note, would love to know if you have any New Year's resolutions and what you're planning on doing this year.
Absolutely. I feel like on the top of my list is launching my podcast, which is definitely going to, most likely in February, March, my podcast, Social Work Success Academy, is going to be launching. And, it's obviously going to be a podcast that anybody can listen to, but obviously I do work with social workers, and being a social worker myself, I'm going to have a lot of my speakers are well-known, social workers within the industry, and just making sure that it's not only career related, it's also about mindset, entrepreneurship, pretty much the whole shebang. I'm also looking forward to this year with booking more speaking events, collaborating with more universities, all about helping my fellow social workers and inspiring social workers. So I'm excited. I mean, this year has already started literally with a bang. So I feel truly, truly blessed and grateful. How about you?
Oh, I love that. No, for me this year, I'm planning on doing live LinkedIn series every month, guys, and it's going to be a new theme every month. So happy to announce February as well. We can start hyping that a little bit. February is going to be about stories that inspire us. So January is New Year, New You, and February we're going to just be talking to some amazing entrepreneurs, people who have overcome adversity, people who have overcome medical illness, or these crazy situations that life has put us in, and who have thrived, excelled, and we're going to learn more about what it takes to get there, and how you guys can take the things that they've learned and put them into your own life. So very excited to be doing that live series, and just excited to keep making stuff to help you, all you job seekers out there, hopefully land that role of your dreams this year. And here's to 2021, hoping that the job market is better.
Absolutely. I mean, we always talk about the importance of networking and really utilizing LinkedIn as best as possible. But if you just join LinkedIn, or if you have people who are not on LinkedIn, tell them to get on LinkedIn. LinkedIn literally changes lives. It literally opens doors to opportunities. And it's very important to recognize that, it's important to just really build those solid connections, regardless of what stage you are within your career, like not losing sight of where you want to be, your goals, and all of those things.
100%. And I think that's a great segue into a lot of what I want to talk about today, guys. So, I work with a lot of people who are looking for jobs, right? Career coaching, career consulting, and everyone always wants to know like the secret sauce, right? How do I get that job? What is the one thing I can put on my resume that's going to get me there? And I really wanted to focus today on mindset shift because I feel that this is so important in relearning how you're searching for a job, because I feel that in 2021 it's going to be more about how do you make yourself in demand? How do you make people come looking for you rather than you go looking for a job? Because 70% of jobs these days are found through networking, through your personal platforms. And of course, that's not to say that you can't be successful through applying in the traditional routes, but if there's 10 great candidates, how are you making yourself stand out? How are you making yourself different? And I think LinkedIn is a great place to really start with that. So would love to hear a little bit more about your thoughts, Harleny, about mindset shift and how to be in demand in 2021.
Absolutely. I love that you really brought this conversation onto light. And I feel like many people are not talking about that. That's obviously one of the components that I focus in the work that I do with my clients. We really focus on mindset, right? And as we all know, the brain is very powerful. So if deep down you don't really believe in yourself, if you don't really believe in your skills or even visualize yourself in that role that you want to be, you're not going to get there regardless of the strategies and everything that you have, right? So really going back to mindset and really protecting your energy and really realizing your current strengths and area of improvement, right? And everyone has flaws, no one's perfect, but the most important thing is how you view yourself, because I always say success really does start within. I talk about this on LinkedIn all the time of how it's important to give yourself the opportunity to succeed, because at the end of the day, we are our biggest critic and we will easily put ourselves down even when we're giving that opportunity. It's just, I see this all the time. Self-sabotage is definitely real.
Oh, it's so real. You can be your best friend or your worst enemy. And I know, we all struggle with this. It's not to say that I know better than anyone else. There's days where I self-sabotage too, but you have to try to, get past that. Oh, I think it's going to start raining. I may need to scoot my chair in a little bit here in a second. But you have to get past that self-sabotage and really, be your own advocate, because if you don't believe in yourself, how can you expect other people to then believe in you as well? And so it's really, I don't want to say fake it until you make it, because I really hate that saying, but it's that you have to have that mindset. You need to believe in yourself, even when you don't believe in yourself, because you know what, you're going to get through and you're going to push. And if you keep grinding it out, opportunities will make themselves available to you.
Absolutely. I'm a strong believer with you have to believe to the very core, because if you don't believe in yourself, obviously you're not going to have confidence in yourself. And when you currently interview or even get on a Zoom chat or just anything, your tone of voice, your body language, just everything is really going to represent that feeling of you not being unsure, right? Confidence sells, right? It really does. And even if you currently don't have certain amount of experience or credentials, if you're able to prove to the organization, and I know Jennifer, you can definitely expand, currently being a recruiter, but if you're able to show the organization, okay, I may not have experience in X, Y, and Z, but this is what I can do for organization, really coming from that place of comfort, really coming from that place of being confident and providing that assurance for yourself gives you the opportunity.
100%.
Had any candidates in the past that you're like, wow, I remember that particular candidate?
Yes. No, and I love it. In our masterclass, I believe that was something that you really went over, and it was something that I took to heart too, because career coaches, we're always learning from each other too, guys.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's always new tips and tricks to learn. And I love what you said, and you mentioned it right there as well. When you don't have that thing they're looking for, that skill, show them what you do have. I don't have this, but I can do this for you, and I can make XYZ happen. So it's about how you market yourself. It's about being confident in the skills that you do have, really banking on those, presenting those. And I think making yourself just more readily available. I still don't see enough people really taking advantage of the powerhouse of a platform that LinkedIn is. And I feel like a lot of it is a stigma, thinking that, I don't have an important message to share on LinkedIn. I don't have anything to say. And I'm here to tell you guys that literally anything you have to say, someone's going to resonate with. If you're having a bad day on that job search, talk about it. If you got rejected, talk about it. If you're excited because you have an offer, talk about it. You know, there's people in various steps along the way who all want to support you and who could all potentially benefit from what you have to share.
Absolutely. I mean, celebrate the wins, celebrate the failures. LinkedIn loves that. Remember, it's very important to start building that visibility, start building that personal brand within the LinkedIn platform, right? And remembering that you are worthy, you are unique, you have something to offer. Everyone does, right? But the most important thing, going back to, if you don't really believe in yourself, if you don't really believe in your abilities, you're not going to get to where you want to be. So it's always important to really give yourself that, pat on the back, that extra validation, just that support, because, no one's going to tell you, hey, you're doing a great job, or, hey, you can do this. You have to do it yourself, right? And even if people do, the most important, basically, the biggest critic is yourself, right? No, we're just looking at the comments. So keep pushing. Don't be afraid, to put yourself out there and just share your story. LinkedIn loves storytelling, right? No one's here to judge you. And if you have people that, they may not agree with you, do not waste your energy on those people. Not everyone's going to say something nice, right? Going back to that mindset piece, protecting your energy where it best aligns for you.
Yes, no, that's so true, 100%. And I'm gonna butcher your name, Ananya. It's better to expertise in a certain skill which is generic across the organization, and let's try to master that in a certain field to grow professionally. Oh, hello. It definitely started raining, guys. Okay, well, I think we're gonna have to cut our live session short because it's pouring outside.
Well, guys, I hope you enjoy this, and definitely watch the replay. Jennifer is gonna get wet.
Yes, I am going to. You know what? No, we can keep going inside. We're just gonna go into my living room because this is important. And
this is the power of LinkedIn, being real. Things happen, situations, learning how to adapt. It happens. I have dogs, and right now they're not making noise, but hey, it happens, right? So
yes, we're moving to the living room, guys, and we're gonna keep talking about mindset shift now that it is not pouring in my living room. So anyway, continuing on this theme, Harleny, what would you say the most important skills of 2021 are going to be in keeping our job seekers flexible as they shift their mindset and search for jobs in this virtual world?
Well, within skill set, I mean, it's obviously technology, right? Like really utilize how to use and navigate technology. YouTube, if you have LinkedIn Premium that has LinkedIn Learning, really take the time. If you're not so tech savvy, this is the time for you to be tech savvy. So this will be the biggest skill that you can gain right now, again, in any capacity that you can. Even if, let's say, a colleague that's specialized, I don't know, let's say in Excel, and you have no idea how to use Excel, even though if you have LinkedIn Premium, there's so many courses on there, but utilize how to use technology to the best of your abilities. Because of this pandemic, obviously it's not going away. So you want to make sure that you enhance, your skill set as best as possible. A lot of jobs are really going towards the remote, right? Remote jobs are becoming more accessible. So really utilize how to use technology. It's going to change. It's going to open more opportunities for you, because if you don't know how to navigate Zoom, or if you don't know how to send a Google Calendar invite, that says a lot.
Right. No,
never too late to learn. 100%.
Never too late. There's so many courses out there. And if you all, have something you have specific questions about and you're not entirely sure where to get more information, reach out to Harleny or myself. I'm sure we have some more answers we can potentially provide you guys with, more places to look for those sorts of things. But can't hit on it enough that LinkedIn really is going to be the thing I think people are going to want to focus on for 2021. The organic reach is still insane, guys. If you get involved now, you start building your following, you start networking seriously and learning how to network seriously, the opportunities come back to you tenfold, especially if you're willing to share what you know, because that's really what networking is all about, right? It's about giving and taking and developing those relationships. And the best way to do that is giving of yourself. So whatever you're good at, whether it be more professionally geared or not, just get on LinkedIn, start talking about it, start connecting with people. And you'd be surprised how that's going to help sort of shift that thinking and have more people coming to you rather than you having to hunt.
Absolutely. And going back to, everyone has a skill set, right? If you're currently working on a project, if you're currently have an idea, talk about that on LinkedIn because somebody knows somebody. And I was saying this earlier, if you're able to start building that visibility, that personal branding, start, sharing your story more on LinkedIn, what that's going to mean. That means more eyeballs are going to be on your profile. And if more eyeballs are on your profile, that means more opportunities. But make sure you have your LinkedIn profile as optimized as possible. And the most important thing for obviously, because giving the rundown of LinkedIn can take all day, but the most important thing to know, your headline, your about me section is so important, to have those specific keywords to the type of roles that you're trying to attract. Really highlight, what you do, who are you, what type of, interest or opportunity that you're currently trying to achieve. And I know Jennifer can definitely expand on that. Being a recruiter and really being on the platform to find candidates, it's all of those things. It's basically LinkedIn is like a Google search engine. You need to have those specific keywords for you to get at the top of the chain, right?
100%. I think that it's a multi-step process. Step one, it's optimizing for people to find you, and then step two, it's putting yourself out there to make it easier to gain traction. So there's multiple reasons why you want to optimize it and get involved, guys. But if you have not optimized your LinkedIn profile, start today. There's a ton of information out there. Or again, feel free to reach out to Harleny and myself, and we always have some great tips and tricks. Now, John is asking, how do career changers leverage their previous experience into newer roles with confidence? So Harleny, being the confidence queen, I'll let you start this one off for us.
Well, first I want to say, validate your previous experience. All of those skills are transferable skills. So what's not to say if you currently, I'm going to give an example. What's not to say you currently learn how to do budget planning in your previous role, and you're currently, changing roles to being, career changer, and you're doing budget planning. The same skills apply. Obviously, it may be a different field, but validate what you currently have and recognize what you currently don't. Right? Really start building that inner confidence, right? Like, okay, I don't have this and this, but how can I really utilize my network, really utilize technology, right? YouTube, LinkedIn Learning, all of those skills, all of those platforms, and really try to say, okay, how can I, learn how to do X, Y, and Z, or who in my network can really teach me. Going back to just start validating what you have, start validating what you have control versus what you don't, because that's going to help you with your confidence. Because if you currently sit there and like, oh man, but I don't have this, and they're not going to call me, I don't qualify, blah, blah, blah. You're going to have all of these limiting beliefs really take over, and you're going to end up feeling stuck. So the most important thing is to kind of pull back, give yourself to kind of give yourself a pat on the back and just validate what you currently have. Validate that you are worthy enough. You have so much to offer, and it's really about the right employer basically finding you.
Yes.
So that's to confidence.
Snap for that. I could not agree more. It's all about, using what you have and feeling good about that. And banking on that moving forward, because we all have holes in the things we should know.
Everything. I'm like, I don't know how to do that, but like Jennifer said, I know how to do this, or I can help you get, increased revenue. I mean, whatever it is,
right?
Trying to find the loopholes and really going back to doing your market research, really going back to the organization and really trying to basically pull what they stand for and what they want to achieve, right? Going back to their mission, their values, does it align with your mission and values? And kind of, making your way in at the right opportunity. Like, I can help you get to where you want to be. It's a matter of when and how.
For sure. And if they want you enough, I will say that they will really look at those transferable skills and take what they need to sort of make that work into their job description. Coming to Google, they were looking for someone in my role, someone who had like operations experience and administrative experience, of course, which my background has, and I'm very good at those things. But did I know everything I need to know today to do my job? Heck no. They had to teach me a lot of things, but your employer is looking beyond that. They're looking to see, are you teachable? Can you be taught these things? Do you adapt? Are you empathetic? Are you someone we want to work with? So it's beyond just the scope of who you are and what you've done in the past, because they're looking to the future and whether or not you can take on those new skills that they're looking to teach you. So you don't have to know everything, and just be confident in what you do know, because that's why you're there in the first place, and that's why they want to talk to you.
Absolutely. Show how invested you are, right? It's very important to really the organizations want to know why should I hire you? Even if you're a career changer, right? Really going back to I want to work for your organization because X, Y, and Z. And even one thing I want to highlight, if you know you're going to change, you're going to probably change roles within a couple of years, don't let them know that. Remember, organizations want to know, they're willing to pay you the big bucks to really make sure that, okay, I'm here for the long haul. Even if in your mind you're like, I only want to be here 3 to 6 months, do not tell them that. Just say, yes, I see myself with the organization, I'm willing to grow, blah blah blah, X, Y, and Z. So I wanted to highlight that. Very important.
Yes, no, very important. And now Vanessa's asking to include at and hashtags in your post for connectivity helps, right? And I would say yes, definitely, Vanessa. You don't want to use too many hashtags and you don't want to tag too many people in your post because LinkedIn will start to flag it as spam. But, if you're inspired by someone, if I read one of Harleny's posts and it really resonates with me and I want to repost something similar or even repost what she said, I'm definitely going to tag her in it or put, post inspired by at Harleny Vasquez. So definitely make sure you're giving credit to people where credit's due. It has actually been proven that if the person who you're tagging in your post likes it, that it will, do better because they're sort of putting their buy-in in as well as you tag them. So definitely don't just tag for the sake of tagging because then if people don't go and like it, it actually leads your post to not perform as well. So
Absolutely.
fun little fact there. Now this one for you, Harleny, what skills are needed for graduating students looking for supervisor positions in their current background, social work, but has supervision experience in another background, retail?
Well, thank you for sharing that because, to disclose a little bit. So I'm currently a social work supervisor at this time. And prior to that, I did not have social work experience. I've been in the field, well, prior to that for a very long time. But what I'm going to say is you have the skills. You don't have to look for it. Going back to what I was saying before, if you joined late in the live, is that you have transferable skills. So you have management experience in retail. So make sure you highlight how you basically handle conflict with your staff, how you manage and supervise a group of, how many, I don't know, people, individuals, and really utilizing all of those skills that you use in that experience and bringing it on when you're currently applying. So just because you're graduating doesn't mean that you shouldn't aim for a social work supervisor experience. Obviously it will be dependent on how many years of experience do they want in a certain field, but in regards to the manager role, you have those skills. So I know Jennifer, I would love for you to share as a recruiter, have you had any candidates in the past that had certain experience in the area and then kind of navigated and market themselves, right? Because it's very important to market yourself.
Yes, 100%. No, I'd say that definitely isn't something that's necessarily going to hold you back. It's all about those transferable skills. And again, how you present it in the interview. You may say, I don't have a background in social work, but my background in retail has led me to know how to deal with like irate people and people who aren't in the best mood and precarious situations. And it's taught me a lot about managing a large team and working amongst people of all different skill sets. So it's all about how you take what you've done and how you package it and how you present it in the future. So 100%. I don't think that that's necessarily going to hold you back. That's why I encourage people to include the full breadth of their experience on LinkedIn because you never know what's going to be that experience that sets you apart. I've had hiring managers before say that they actually prefer people who have had experience like serving or waitressing or things like that. They actually like to see that towards the bottom of your resume because it shows that you've been there, like how to deal with people in those certain situations. And there's some things like that cannot be taught, that can only be learned in the moment. So don't underestimate what value they have to give is what I'm trying to say. I went a long way around it.
And one last thing I want to say, and this can be applicable to any job seeker in any field, is utilize the job description. Really study that. That should be a little cheat sheet. Really pay attention to the keywords of their ideal candidate. Are they looking for someone who's going to be very, good with time management, holding staff accountable with deadlines, just making sure that okay, this is a piece that I need to focus on, and making sure that I'm able to reflect that in my interview. So make sure, never lose sight of doing your research, going back to really highlighting and bringing out your inner confidence because you have that experience. So definitely reach out to me. I would love to, answer any more questions you have because definitely being my area of expertise. But you got this. Apply.
Yeah, apply for anything you guys feel qualified for, anything you meet the minimum preferred qualifications for. That's definitely going to make you a strong candidate. But back to what we were saying earlier, for those of you just tuning in, really for 2021, I would love your focus to be, of course, I have no say in the matter, but in my opinion, your focus should be to really shift your mindset away from how do I get this one job I want to how do I make myself marketable and how do I make people come to me? Because if you can really solve that question and tune in and tap into your passions and start sharing that at tenfold, it's going to come back to you, and it's a lot easier and it's a lot less work, guys.
Absolutely. And I can't stress enough, as a fellow job seeker, you can also feel so overwhelmed with your current job search. So also pay mind to going back to your energy, where aligns best throughout the week. If you currently have a day that just like, oh, I don't want to be on a computer, then just take a break, disconnect, take care of you before you're able to serve others. Serve others in the context of for the organization or just anything. It's very important to take care of you, right? And really being okay with your current circumstances and realizing that, this is not basically end, like either make it or break it, right? Just because you're in current situation right now as a job seeker doesn't mean that you're going to be in this particular role forever. Your time is coming. Just make sure that your time is obviously important, right? On top of anything else that you have to manage in your life. But make sure that you're being very intentional and strategic with what you're doing on an everyday to day. If you notice you're constantly being on social media 24 hours without having any conversations, setting up Zoom chats, just really, really being intentional with your job search, you're going to burn yourself out. So take care of you and just keep pushing.
100%, 100%. And Zabe says, thanks, Harleny, for this chat. Looking for someone from Google to connect with June Calaroso, also working on mindset strategy. June is a great person to connect with. I highly encourage you to connect with her. And yes, thank you, Harleny, for being here. You have been so lovely. We have one more question we're going to take, and then I think Harleny and I are going to wrap it up. So, does it put you at a disadvantage to recruiters if you have been unemployed for 9 months? So, I like this question. I would say that it is different COVID versus non-COVID. Everyone understands that things have been a hot mess during COVID. The resumes I look at every day, it's completely normal to have gaps for COVID. So many people were laid off. I would just make sure that you're making it clear on your resume that that's why. Put, July 20th, 2020 is when you ended, and put laid off due to COVID-19. There's no harm in putting that there. People are going to understand why so many people got the axe in that sort of situation. But I would love to hear your thoughts, Harleny, not in a non-COVID world. How do you deal with resume gaps and really staying confident when presenting that?
Absolutely. I get asked this question all the time, especially for current students who are not working, or just maybe they're taking medical leave because of a family member. June says you're doing overtime. Hey, girl. So it's very important to show, and I'm pretty sure you can back me up, Jennifer, on this. In your current resume, you need to show what did you do during these 9 months. Obviously, prior COVID, I said it's prior COVID. What did you do during those 9 months? Were you in school? Were you and if you were in school, were you doing an internship? Were you taking a certain certification, a training? Just making sure that you utilize this time as best as possible and really being able to kind of fill in the gaps. Right. So that's very important to make sure that you stand out. Is this something that, with your previous clients and basically candidates, you're like, oh yes, I knew they had this gap, and basically I really like how they, highlighted X, Y, and Z.
Exactly. You just need to show what you were doing during that time, what value you had to add, what you were up to. And I will say that sometimes it's not always professional. I have had gaps before where someone's had to take medical leave to take care of a family member or something like that. And that's okay too. Just mark those sorts of things down. 9-month break, medical leave, 9-month break, XYZ. Just give a little reasoning. I think sometimes helps in your resume. That way they don't question the gap.
Stay-at-home moms, I've seen that, took a break to take care of my kids. Like, as long as you give a reason, like, life happens.
100%. Yes. And they need to be understanding of that. And if they aren't, then the question is that really the place you want to be working anyway?
Exactly. I can't stress that enough. Hope you found that helpful.
Yes. And you know what? We will take maybe 1 or 2 more questions because these are really good questions. Oh, yes. You're doing overtime, June says. Too funny. If someone leaves to pursue startup and art and get back into the corporate world after a few months or years? Does it matter? I would say it's sort of like the job gap. As long as you're sort of showing what you were doing, what value you were adding, what skills you were learning over that time, I would say no. Just make sure you're marketing yourself correctly and that you can really answer for what you did during that time. Any different thoughts on that, Harleny?
No, I mean, pretty much you kind of said it. Like, it really goes back to our previous question, and really highlighting exactly why and basically what you're trying to do basically next. So as long as you have an explanation and kind of show exactly what you're doing with your time, that's totally fine.
Oh yeah. Okay, last question, Vanessa. How do recruiters feel about unpaid volunteer work? I love this question. This can be something that definitely sets you apart, guys, especially right now. You know, if you're having a hard time finding a job, but you do have places you could be volunteering with, I would definitely be taking the time to do that. You know, there are higher level things within volunteer positions, project management. They need people to do their accounting. They need people to look at these sorts of things. Great experiences that are completely valid in a recruiter's eyes if you, if you scope it, scale it, and market it correctly. What are your thoughts, Harleny?
I mean, going back to really highlighting all of your skills, unpaid volunteer experience, internship experience is still valuable. If you learn how to, going back to that budget planning, if you learn how to, I don't know, co-facilitate some workshop, it's all important and it's all valuable. So don't lose sight about having, unpaid work, because that's still your time. That's still an opportunity for you to learn. It's going back to, you're going to have more leeway to market yourself, more effectively because of your previous experience. So don't shy away from that either.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you so much for being here, Harleny. Thank you guys so much for watching. Everyone on the replay, thanks for tuning in. I apologize for my changing backgrounds and my rain and my plumbing issues, but so glad we got to be here to do this chat regardless. I'm all about the value and the content. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. And thank you so much for being here, Harleny.
Of course, my pleasure. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.